Okay, chapter 16, driving on highways. All right, page 320. So there's three classifications of highways in the system. There's the interstate highway system, the U.S. highway system, and state highways. So of course, interstates, that's our freeway, I-15, that's what the I stands for, is the interstate. U.S. highways, like the freeway or like the interstate, they go clear across the country. And then the state highways are just within each state. Just real quick, don't know if I talked about it, the numbering system. So the roads that run east and west, they start with a lower number in the south, and then as they go north, the numbers get bigger. So there's an I-10, I-40, we have I-70, I-80 up in Salt Lake. So then the north-south roads like I-15, they start in the west. So California has I-5, we have I-15, and then they move across that way. So the interstate highway system, they have controlled access, meaning that you can only get on and off at certain locations, and those are at interchanges. So you can get on and go back on the other side. You can get off and go somewhere else. So they have grade elevation changes. So you're driving on the road off to the right-hand side, it goes down. It goes down in the middle, in the median, and then comes back up to the other lane going the opposite direction. Expressways, so there's some that are a little bit different. Non-controlled access on those. Turnpikes and parkways, I think, where you have to pay to get on and use those roads. So you can read through that part. Again, U.S. highways, just a highway traveling in both directions, but it takes you from one state into the next. So Highway 50 going west from Holden through Delta and then out to Ely and so on. Considered the loneliest road in America. And then state highways, again, those just within the state. So on the interstate or freeway, we have different types of interchanges. This one's called a cloverleaf, as you can see with the picture. That tells you why it's called a cloverleaf. It looks maybe complicated, but it's very, very simple. If you wanted to get on the other road going right, you just take that first turn and go to the right. Let's say you wanted to go left on the other main road and you're coming from the bottom of the page. You would just go over the bridge, you would turn on that top right circle, and then you'd be going underneath the bridge and to the left in the picture. So down at the bottom is the diamond interchange. That's what we have in our area. So again, you get on and off at those locations. These are probably for more like rural areas, not too much traffic, although there are some up in Salt Lake and Provo area, Utah and Salt Lake valleys. Some of those are designed a little bit differently to handle more traffic, but again, the freeway traffic can go over or under, like we have in both ends of town. And then the alternative traffic goes either over or under as well. Okay, page 324. This one is called a trumpet interchange. So the closest one to us is I-70, and if you took the circle and just moved it towards the bottom of the page, so the top of the circle is where the bridge came across, and that would be just exactly what you have down at Cofort. So as you come down underneath the bridge, then you would make the circle and over the top. So I-70 begins and ends at that location. Kind of interesting to realize that this is the end or beginning of a freeway. Bottom one, I think we commonly call those spaghetti bowls because there are quite a few lanes that take you different places on those roads. Okay. Number 2 is entering controlled access highways. So you can see there's the entrance ramps. They have an acceleration lane to allow you to build up speed, and then you have a merging area. So this is where you would then get on or into that existing lane of traffic. Now, one question with the emerging area, I sometimes will ask the question, who has the right of way? The people getting on or the people already on the freeway? If we had to choose, I guess I would say the people already on, but it is kind of up to both to make sure that things are, appropriate to get on. So if you're getting on and there's a semi in the right-hand lane, obviously you need to either speed up or slow down to move in behind that truck. The truck may stay in the right lane if there's another car on the other side of them and they can't move over. But if they see you coming and there's room, they are supposed to move over. So it is kind of up to both. So you can read through some of those entrance ramps problems. Never back up on an entrance ramp or on the freeway. So when you are getting on, like in our area, you look for a hole in traffic before you enter. Up north, there are some places that have ramp meters, and this is for usually in the morning or evening when it's rush hour traffic, people going to or coming from work. And so I know there's one on the south end of Provo that as you get on the freeway. So 3 lanes, the light will turn green, the other 2 are red, and I think they have a sign that says 2 cars may go. Then the middle one will go green, this one turns red, 2 cars go, then this one turns green, 2 cars go, and then it's back to the left-hand lane. So it really doesn't take that long to get through them. You just can be patient. Acceleration lanes we talked about. Never stop in a travel lane of the highway. I have some kids who will be exiting and they slow way down, and that's not good. Take your foot off the gas or tap the brake, cancel cruise, and let it slow on its own for those few seconds that the signal is on. And then when you're off the freeway and on the off ramp, then you can apply some brakes. So plenty of time to do that. Occasionally you might see a left entrance ramp, steps for entering the freeway, and again, if you're facing those signs, you're obviously in the wrong place. So turn around and go the other direction. But yeah, I don't know how people can get on going the wrong direction with do not enter, wrong way. That's pretty clear. Okay, number 3, strategies for driving on highways. So applying the IPD process in zone control. So again, identify, predict, decide, and then execute your choices. Lane choice. Again, you should always be in the right lane except for passing. There are some areas where they have reversible lanes. For example, at least it was when we went there, Golden Gate Bridge going into San Francisco. So I believe there's 8 lanes, and in the morning they would have 2 lanes leaving the city and 6 lanes coming in, and then in the evening they would reverse that. 6 lanes would leave and 2 would come in, and that would handle the increased amount of traffic going over that bridge. So that's the thing, something they can do with those reversible lanes. So if you're driving along and you see a red X, you should not be in that lane. A yellow X means to be careful, and it might be closing soon and turning to red. And then if it's a green arrow, that means it's okay to drive in that lane. HOT, high occupancy toll. Many highways have HOV lanes for buses and vehicles that have 2 or more occupants. Some highways have HOT lanes, which allow drivers to pay a fee in order to drive in the HOV lane. Oh yeah, so I think we've talked about it where you can have a special little thing in your car, and then you as a single driver can be in the HOV lane. Speed limits, we've talked about, I believe. Again, ideal conditions. Common speed would be what most everyone else is driving. And you have to be careful because, anyway. Blind spots, tailgating, they do tend to start repeating some things in the book. Changing lanes, again, this will be a closed one, so please make sure to read. Passing and being passed, I think we've talked about that. Conflict can occur on the freeway or on a road that looks like that when two drivers are entering the same lane. So, look over, be careful, check your mirrors at all times. Let's go to number 4. This one is exiting controlled access highways. So this one in the picture shows a deceleration lane. I know that up at Utah Valley University, when you exit there, they have a deceleration lane. So you would pull over, start slowing down, and then make your exit. We know what an exit ramp is. Applying the IPD process at exits. Again, I'll let you read through that. Steps for exiting, very common exit down there at the bottom. The picture on the left, though, that one's interesting on 336. So you have the blue line would be a car that's getting off of the freeway, and they're signaling, and they're going to move into that lane. Well, the red line is a car that is signaling and going to leave that road. And so if you have two that happen at the same time, that's kind of a difficult situation, and you just have to work it out between the drivers so each can get to their destination when they need to. So again, read the steps for exiting. Let's go to 5. Highway problems and features. Highway hypnosis, if you drive an extended amount of time or you drive the same stretch of highway day after day after day, can lead to highway hypnosis. Velocitation, they call that. Once you drive for so long, then you might not feel like you're traveling as fast as you actually are. Disabled vehicles, you might encounter those on the side of the road. Never stand in the highway to direct traffic. You should get your car off the road, put up any kind of markers, flashers, turn on your flashers on the car. So as you're driving, watch for different things. You can see signs to direct you. Might be cones for construction, reduced speed for construction. Lots of different things you could run into. Belts and spurs. As you approach a major city, you may have an option to take a beltway or loop around the city, or a spur or branch going into the city. So they have this in Salt Lake. You have I-15 that goes right through the middle, but then there's also I-215, which takes off and goes around the city. So east and west side. And the reason it's called I-215 is because it runs parallel to the existing road. And so they name it that. Toll plazas, again, that's something where you will be either hopefully have the right change and just toss it in a basket. You may be seeing that in movies, or you would actually pay money of cash or maybe even a card. And anyway, that allows you to then continue traveling. So, okay, let's quickly read through the questions on 343. So number 1, which of the following highways have similar features? That would be A, so freeways, expressways, and interstate highways are similar. 2, which highway system is most likely to have one of these? That would be B, an expressway. So you would not see them on a freeway. 2, a freeway interchange does not have D, an exit ramp meter to control exiting traffic. Okay, yeah, that's just not really something they need. Okay, 4, you're traveling south on an interstate highway and want to enter another freeway to travel in an easterly direction. Which of the following statements is true? So regardless of what way you think the direction is, the answer is going to be A. So you will go over or under the bridge before exiting. Okay, number 5. Which of the following statements is true? That would be C. A hole in traffic is space between traffic clusters as you're trying to enter that roadway. Number 6, the far left lane of a freeway should be used. B, only for passing. Once the pass is completed, the lane should be vacated. And then number 7, which of the following statements is not true? That would be C. Expressways always have controlled access. So this test will be closed book, and I'll give you the assignment in the announcement. So thank you.